Okay, well, welcome back. And I just want to take a moment to commend you if you have come this far into the video series, to acknowledge that you continue to keep moving forward. And I know that these little tidbits are small, but they definitely compound over time. So I just want to say good job, keep up the good work, and keep making these small little changes. I know that in the last video we talked about what it is that we're supposed to be eating, and I told you to focus your your attention on adding more vegetables and starting to eliminate some of these sugary drinks. Well, the next question that inevitably always comes up is, well, what are the portion sizes that we're supposed to be eating? Which is a fantastic question, because like I said in the last video, mainstream society seems to be getting like bigger and bigger. Bigger is better, which is not necessarily the case with food, because as a result we are also getting bigger and bigger, which is not the direction that we want to go. And so it's definitely something that you want to pay attention to. And I'm sure that now that I've drawn your attention to it, if you start to go into the supermarket or into the convenience stores, you'll start to notice, what was a candy bar, was this size, is now suddenly becoming king size or super size. And this is becoming very, very common instead of, an extra special treat or something like that. And so what I want you to do is start noticing that. Statistics show that, years ago, a soda was only 8 ounces, and now there's places where you can go in, it's 20 ounces, 32 ounces, even 64 ounces. And so knowing that, also know that those increased sizes are adding to the waistline, adding to the calories that we're consuming. And it's not because we have a deficiency in these areas. It's just kind of the way the industry is going. So as you are looking at your plate and what it is that you're eating and you're drinking, one of the things that I found is most effective is just kind of, and you may have heard it before, is just kind of slow down just a little bit, put a helping that you think is going to be filling on your plate, and then after you've consumed that, just kind of wait a little bit and see if if the next step is you're actually still hungry, that you want to go back and you want to get more, or if what you've got is good. And I always say to eat to the point of energy. When we're hungry and we want to eat something, it's because that we're malnourished and we need some more fuel, instead of eating to the point where we're just stuffed. And then we're tired and we're sluggish because all of our energy is going down into digesting that. So if you pay attention to those little things, and also on the sides of sweets, say for example after a meal, you find that you're wanting a little bit of a treat. And I'm not opposed to having a little bit of a treat after a meal. But just because you open up a candy bar doesn't mean that you necessarily need to eat the whole thing. A lot of times you'll find that just a little bit will do you. And so it's totally okay to just wrap up the rest of it and save it until later. And the same thing with soda. If you find yourself that you absolutely are craving and wanting one, and we'll go over how to avoid those things in the future. But if the need is right there, I do not believe, and I'm not going to say that you need to just say, no, absolutely not. But it's totally possible to just pop it open, take a drink until that craving is gone, and it doesn't require the whole thing in order to, to let the moment pass. So those little tips on how you can reduce those sizes, watch for them in the store, recognize that it's not based on the fact that you actually need that much, and then just eat enough to where you're feeling satisfied. That little piece will also help you gain momentum as you're making progress towards your new weight loss goals.